bike today! Gravel racing, not friendly on bikes. Started off today with having to ride our bikes through a giant silt sludge that had gone across the road from that big rainstorm we had last night. Apparently made like a landslide, and some riders rode their bikes through it. I don't know what happened to their bikes after that, because man, that silt just turns to cement and it's so sticky. So I definitely shouldered the bike and ran through it. So it was a good day to wear black socks. Yeah, nailed the fashion statement today. It wasn't that bad. It was like 4 inches thick, and like the mud sludge was like, I don't know, like 200 or 300 feet long. It's pretty nuts. And we actually had like three of them on the course, but the first one was the biggest for sure. So preserved my drivetrain the best I could there. Then we got into pretty good climb. Definitely had some hike-a-bike sections in there. It was really pretty in there, just kind of all moist and overgrown and really beautiful. We got to the top of that climb and dropped down a pretty primitive gravel road that had all these like water cuts in it, and holy cow, they were so fun. Generally you could see them coming, and if they weren't, the course, they had done a good job flagging the ones you really couldn't see. But like some of them were like these giant chasms, and you just have to like slow and absorb them. And then some of them you were able to completely bunny hop at high speed. And then some of them had big lips on the front end, so you were able to just boost them and ride them like a gap. I mean, granted, it's like a 12-inch gap, but on a gravel bike, it feels pretty spicy doing a little 12-foot gap, 12-inch gap on a gravel bike. So super fun, loved ripping that descent. There was definitely some carnage on that from some riders, but worked out well for me. I think got to the bottom of that, and at that point then we got on pretty like high traveled gravel roads for what would have been about 655 miles to the finish in Canal Flats. But when I went to go shift my bike, my shifter was done again. All the amazing MacGyvering work that Gary did could only go so far for a dead shifter. So unfortunately, this time, unlike when that happened on stage 1, I was stuck in my smallest, or I guess my tallest ring in my cassette, which is my easiest gear. So I'm a 2x drivetrain, so that meant that I technically had 2 gears. I had an obscenely easy gear and a really easy gear. And for all that flats, I just couldn't really ride. Yeah, it was pretty heartbreaking. So rode for a while, finally saw a truck. I hitchhiked back to Nipika, which is where we had been camped the nights before. The camp wasn't there. They'd all packed up and moved already. Man, those guys are efficient. And so went out to the main road trying to figure out what my plan was going to be. And amazingly, the course went right by camp. And so there was a course marshal there, so I got to hang out and help the course marshals at this corner. And my plan then was just when the last rider came through to jump in their RV and get taken down to Canal Flats. But then Jeremy, the head medic, came by to grab the trailer to bring down to Canal Flats. So I ended up jumping in the medic truck with him. Okay, stage 3, I am hanging out in one of the support crews. I'm actually in the medic truck, but I am totally fine. No crashes, no problem for me. My bike, on the other hand, that's what's in the medic truck, my bike. My shifter went again. And that was super interesting because it took us a long time to get anywhere because he was constantly having to stop and patch up riders. Tasha getting cleaned up, she totally crushed it to the finish, no problem. And man, he was a really good medic, like took really good care of people, and definitely his focus was making sure they were safe, and if they were safe and wanted to continue on, making sure that he had them patched up enough to like continue on. It was pretty rad. So yeah, finally got down to Canal Flats, and Gary's again done his magic on my bike, a new fix on my shifter. So I'm gonna race the last stage tomorrow, and my fingers are really crossed that I get to race all of it. I'd really like to race my bike. I'd really like to see this terrain. Yeah, I'm really hoping to have a little bit of smiling on me from the bike god. So think good thoughts for me.